Hey everyone. I am so glad to be on today because I think I've got something pretty revealing to talk about, and I think it will help a lot of people and what they think about that day that they were diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. So first, my name is Roxanne Marion, and I am so happy to be on with you all. Um, I come to you off of Facebook on the Awareness for MS Month and on, hey, Anthony, I just looked over there and saw you pop up. Hey, Anthony. And on, of course, Miss Grace Glamour and Grit on the YouTube page. So thank you for tuning into my channel. You might be able to you probably know exactly where I'm going with this, Anthony. So I want to jump on and talk about the worst day of my life. And for some of us, we would probably say being diagnosed was the worst day of our lives. You just had your infusion today. How'd that go? Are you tired? Because I get really tired after my infusion. Um, let's talk about that day. The worst day of my life. Why was it the worst day of my life? First off, I have to be honest with you all. It was not the worst day of my life because I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Multiple sclerosis actually wasn't even the first thing that was on my mind. Doctor diagnosed me with multiple sclerosis and then went into this not rant. She didn't rant. I really liked my doctor, but she went on to tell me all the things I would not be able to do any longer. Um, oh my goodness, I just saw Anthony, you said you were diagnosed. He was diagnosed on his 43rd birthday, guys. Yeah, that would not be a favorite memory. A little tired. So, let me tell you all why the diagnosis itself was not what was the worst thing about that day. It was the worst day of my life because the doctor went on to tell me everything that I would no longer be able to do. And I just had this vision in my head of, oh, I'm no longer going to be able to take care of my own housework, at least not all in the same day. I'm going to probably not be able to go out late because, guys, I was 25 when I was diagnosed. Was I 20? Yeah, I was 25 when I was diagnosed. 24 would have been 25 in September. Anywho, I was told that I wouldn't be able to do this laundry list of things. I would be tired all of the time. Um, I would need to get more rest than what I usually get, which meant, hey, you have a life when you're 25, or at least I did. And I was thinking about, like, I won't be able to do all these things. She made it seem as though taking care of myself, yes, I would be able to do, but would be better if I lived around people who knew me. At this time, I did not. I was a big city girl. I wanted to live in a larger city than the one that I grew up in. So what you're telling me I need to move back? One thing she did not mention were the things that were going to happen cognitively, but that's fine. You said enough to make me question the rest of my life. The medicine that I was going to have to be on, one of those medicines she mentioned was going to be me giving myself an injection with a needle that was this long, and I would have to get so much in that only this much showed. She talked about the medication. She talked about what I wouldn't be able to do. My parents looked worried, and I can honestly say it was the worst day of my life, not because of the diagnosis, but because of what was taken away from me, which was a hope and an expectation in the future of what my life would be like. You know, when you're in high school, you think of what college is going to be like. Graduated out of all that, you're thinking about what everything else is going to be like. Hey, Aaron, the best thing about being diagnosed that day was what my father said to me. My father said, God can heal anything. And I don't know where you all are on the spectrum of faith, but I had faith, but didn't have nearly as much faith as I have now. So that's what my father said to me. And you have to understand, there was no internet that I went on and did a little WebMD search. I wasn't into all that. Don't even know if it was around back in 2000. If it was, it wasn't something that was in my house. So I didn't have the internet to go and look up what multiple sclerosis meant aside from what my doctor said. I just heard what my doctor said and what my father said, and they were contradicting each other. And I chose to go with what my father said. So, what began as the worst day of my life because I was being told what I would no longer be able to do. And I felt like my life was not going to be what I wanted it to be. My father then said, but God can heal anything. I thank God sitting in this right now, knowing that I've been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis for 23 years. I sit in it now and I think I'm kind of glad that I didn't take on the heartache for the rest of that day, because it really gave me some hope hearing that God can heal anything. And we all can talk about how there's not a cure for MS. I understand that. But it was what my heart heard. It's what my head heard. And it made me wonder how many of us walk away with the worst of what life can be or will be because we hear of everything bad that MS is, or we look up everything bad that MS is, or we've already heard what is bad about MS. And for someone to put that, it's like somebody is casting a spell on you and saying, bam, MS, and you just see how things are going to be, but that's not the way it has to turn out. The idea that God can cure everything has carried me through 23 years, because as badly as I don't like the limp, or I don't like the way I walk, or every once in a while, especially lately, I'm a little off keister and I feel like, oh my gosh, child, catch yourself. I still laugh and smile about all of this. It's not going to get me down, didn't get me down then. Thank God. Once again, no internet. But we have to decide, why is something going to be the worst day of our lives? Is that diagnosis the worst day of our lives because we know what it is? Because we're listening to the doctor say what it is? Because we have a certain expectation of what it is? Or can we come out of it on the other side and be like, you know, I have a lot of life left to live, and I'm going to do this thing my way. That's what my dad gave to me when he said, God can heal anything. And I took that and I believed that and I walked with that. And MS for me hasn't been this and all. I don't care when I've been working with walking with a cane, when I've been in a wheelchair, when I've been using a walker. It's never stayed with me. And I feel good. I feel good. And That's not to say that things don't happen. I know Anthony is saying he had to inject himself in the beginning. Isn't it awful? It's awful. I don't even want to say what the medicine is in case somebody's doctor prescribes it to them. And they're thinking at first, this is the one she was talking about. Don't worry about it. Look, I'm here. I got through it and I don't take it anymore. You know, we have to understand that things happen for an instant and the next minute something could be completely different. Can be completely different. But if we're not willing to walk it all out, we're not going to be here to see what can be different, what is happening, what's to come. So, for those of you who have been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and there are a whole bunch of us on here, and if you're newly diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, do not count yourself out. We talk a lot about different medicines. We take things that will get us through the day. I just talked to Laura a little while ago. I didn't get to talk with her, but I was typing with her, and I haven't seen her on here for a little while. And she actually is having some problems with insomnia. And I believe Barbara was having problems with insomnia the other day. I was having problems with insomnia about 3 weeks ago. And they remembered me talking about, or Barbara remembered me talking about this this melatonin I'm taking. Is like right there. I want to grab it. It's not anything affiliate. It's not that I get anything off of telling you about it. I'm telling you about it because I have dealt with insomnia. Comes with MS. Dealt with insomnia is the best thing that has put me to sleep. And my friend told me about it. So yes, I pass it on. Look, I'm getting it regardless of saying that I was not going to get it. This stuff, guys. It is called, oh, you can't see it. Olly. Olly. I promise these people are gonna be like, who has sent people to get this? But it's extra strength sleep. I promise you, I had not been sleeping well like days, 4 days. I couldn't fall asleep. I took this stuff after a friend suggested it to me. Knocked out, knocked out, slept so well. So just know that there are people who have been in your boat and there are people who have suggestions for you and will let you know that it's just one day when you get that diagnosis. It's the doctor's office. It's most likely a half an hour when you get that diagnosis. But you still have the rest of your life to live. The phone is not on Do Not Disturb, but you still have the rest of your life to live. So remember that and hold on to your faith. Continue to come back here. We will continue to talk about all things MS and living with grace, glamour, and grit. And I will see you soon, Anthony. Get some rest. Get some rest. And I will be talking to you all soon. Bye.